So I don't think confidence comes from motivational speeches, and I don't think self-esteem comes from reading books, even though I'm an avid reader. I do think confidence comes from one thing, and that's keeping promises to yourself. Because every time you say you're going to do something and then don't do it, you're teaching yourself that your word doesn't matter. Every time you follow through, you build trust with yourself. So today I want to talk to you about why keeping promises to yourself may be the most important habit that you'll ever develop. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video in the 12-week cut. If you're new to the channel, my name is Bryce Dettorre. I am a husband, I am a father, I am a special education teacher, and I am someone who likes to do Spartan races, DECA races, and just fitness in general. Been doing it for over 20 years now. And my current project that I'm working on is a 12-week cut to drop body fat while maintaining lean muscle. And this week I realized something, that the biggest thing I'm building during this cut isn't a lean physique. It's actual trust in myself and my word. And what I mean by that is we have all done it before. I've done it myself. We've all said, I'll start Monday. I'll wake up early tomorrow. I'll stop eating junk food. I'll get my workout in after work. Then tomorrow comes and we don't. Eventually something happens because you can guarantee life will happen. But every time we don't follow through on what we say we're gonna do or a goal that we set in mind, we stop trusting ourselves. Because I'll tell you this right now, your confidence is not gonna be built by saying things. If that was the case, everybody would be confident. But it's built by proving things and by following through on your word. Just think of it this way. If a friend, which you probably have one, repeatedly broke promises to you, such as, yeah, I'll hang out with you, or yeah, we could go to the movie, or yeah, I'll hop online tonight, or yeah, I'll go to the gym with you, and they constantly broke those promises, you're gonna lose trust in them. Well, I'm gonna let you know right now, you have a voice inside your head that you are constantly making promises to, and if you don't follow through, you are destroying that relationship. You're destroying that trust in that voice inside your head. And you do it, unfortunately, every single day. And what this does is little broken promises eventually become a lack of self-belief. I get asked a lot, how do I stay so disciplined? And the truth is, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't always feel motivated. I don't wake up excited to work out every single day. Some days I do, but it's simply you make a decision to yourself. And I've said this before in my videos, I am trying to instill the habit and my superpower that when I say I'm gonna do something, I do it. I tell my students that all the time. Imagine if your one superpower was that no matter what you said, you followed through. And they're like, what do you mean by that? And I'm like, think about it. If you said, I'm gonna start my own business, you already know you're gonna do it. I'm gonna lose weight, you already know you're gonna do it. I'm gonna go get this job, you already know I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go talk to that girl, you already know you're gonna do it. Imagine if you followed through on everything you said you were gonna do. How much different your life could be. And I'm not saying that I have that instilled in me all the time. I struggle just like everybody else. There's a lot of things I've said I was gonna do and I have not followed through on. Ask my wife. I tell her everything I'm gonna do, 90% of it, I probably don't follow through. It is a habit that you have to work on every single day. And you do that by keeping little promises to yourself every single day. And you start building up that muscle. I call it the trust muscle. All I'm trying to do is build trust in myself. I'm trying to build a cookie jar that when I say I'm gonna do something, my subconscious can go back on, well, you know what? You said you were gonna do that and you followed through. Therefore, you probably will do this. What I don't want is when I say I'm gonna do something, my subconscious is able to go into a cookie jar of all these times I did not follow through, and then now that voice comes in and says, yeah, well, you said you were gonna do this and you never did that, and now I believe it and I stop. You gotta build it, but in order to build it, you gotta start following through on your word. And I think where people make the biggest mistake is they try to change their entire life, all areas, all aspects, overnight. They make huge promises to themselves. You see it every January 1st when the new year, new me starts. People will say, I'm gonna start working out. Not only are they gonna start working out, they say, I'm gonna start working out 7 days a week. I'm not gonna have any sugar. I'm gonna wake up at 4 a.m. forever. And then they fail. And the reason why they fail is because they went 0 to 100 in all areas way too soon. And discipline, it starts much smaller. For instance, if you say, I want to start working out 7 days a week, that's a great goal. However, you don't work out at all right now. You should say, I'm going to go for a 10-minute walk. And I know you're probably thinking like, Bryce, 7 days a week, 10-minute walk, that's way down here. Well, if your subconscious mind has a cookie jar filled with different reasons of all the times you did not follow through on your word, you got to start emptying this cookie jar, and then the cookie jar over here that is you following through on your word, you got to start adding to that. So if you said, I'm going to work out 7 days a week, you can't wrap your mind around that concept yet. However, you start super small and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to go for a 10-minute walk tomorrow. And then you do it, now you're adding to that cookie jar. But imagine this, imagine you say, hey, I'm going to go for a 10-minute walk, and in your mind, you're like, well, that's super small or whatever, and then you don't follow through. Some of us do that. Some of us set this extremely high goal, and then we back it down to this minimal goal, and we don't even follow through on that. And we think it's not a big deal because it's like, oh, it's only 10 minutes. No, what you're doing to your subconscious mind and your trust in yourself is you're destroying it. If you're trying to get better at nutrition, I'll eat 1 high protein meal a day. Start with 1. If your goal is to eat 5, start with 1. And then as for like someone who drinks no water, say I'm gonna drink 2 water bottles a day. If your goal is 5, start with 2. Just start small. Reading, I know a lot of people that are like, Bryce, how do you read every single day? I started very small. Like, it's not like I said, oh, I'm gonna read 1 book a week. That was not my goal. It was, I'm gonna read for 10 minutes every single day. Once I got into that 10 minutes, then I started adding to it. And now it's up to like 30 minutes. And again, you start very small. Because like I said, every small promise that you keep to yourself strengthens your identity that you are a promise keeper. And you begin to believe that, hey, I'm someone who actually follows through when I say I'm gonna do something. Ask yourself this, how many people do you know that when they say they're gonna do something without a doubt, you do not doubt them for a second that they will actually do it? Probably not that many people. I could maybe think of 2 off the top of my head. But how many people do you know that they say when they say they're gonna do something, you know they aren't gonna follow through on it because that's what they've done? Well, you're doing that up here every single day too. So to be honest with you, like I said at the very beginning, this cut isn't just about getting lean. Yes, I want to lose body fat. Yes, I want to look better. And yes, I want to feel better. But the bigger goal is I want to be someone who keeps my word. I want to be someone who keeps my promises. I want to get back to where that was. I've done that before. I've been there. And I love the way I felt mentally, physically, spiritually, across the board. I want to be someone that when I say something to my wife that I'm going to do something, she's like, oh, get out of his way. My husband's going to do it. I also got 2 little kids now. I got my 5-year-old and then my 8-week-old. When I say, hey, I'm going to do something, I don't want them to, in the back of their mind, be like, yeah, daddy's not going to do that. He never does it. I want them to be like, get out of my daddy's way. He's going to go do it. Because when he says he's going to do something, he follows through. Because I know personally that my life changed drastically when I started keeping my promises to myself. So during this cut, the weeks aren't gonna be perfect. I still have hard days, trust me. I still have days that I do not wanna wake up. I still have days that I am fighting the voice of average. But I also think of how I want to be a promise keeper. That is what this whole 12-week cut is about. So did I get my workouts done? Did I get my steps in? Did I hit my nutrition? Did I hit my water? Did I edit my videos? Did I spend time with my wife? Did I spend time with my daughter? Did I spend time with my son? These are all things that I am trying to keep promises to myself. And this last week was a good week. I kept a lot of promises to myself, my wife, my daughter, and I know I'm adding to that promise keeper jar. So if you're someone who's struggling with motivation, I'm gonna tell you something. Stop focusing on motivation. Just focus on keeping your promises. And if you are someone who doesn't keep their promises, then focus on keeping small promises. Pick one thing, one simple, small task that you can do, and then go do it. Do it, follow through on it, and then do it again tomorrow, and do it again the next day. And eventually you'll realize that when you say, hey, I'm gonna do that, you follow through on that task, and now you start stacking those, and you add a new task. Because you do that long enough, you're gonna find confidence in yourself, and you're gonna earn that confidence. And discipline isn't given at all, it's built. It's built by doing the mundane, boring stuff every single day and following through on your promises. Because like I said, every promise that you keep to yourself is evidence that you are putting in that jar of you are someone who follows through when they say they're gonna do something. That is a dangerous quality to have in someone. At the end of the day, my goal for this 12 weeks is to be someone who I can trust. That same And that it's that same concept of that one friend that you can't trust because they never follow through on their word. I want to be someone I could trust, that when I say I'm going to do something, it's like just a matter of time. I may get the deadline wrong, but it's going to get done because I said it was going to get done. That is what I am working towards over this next 12 weeks. So if you are someone that would love to have that quality of that you are a promise keeper, comment below promise keeper. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because I'm doing these videos every single week, documenting this 12-week cut with, like I said, the goal to be leaner, stronger, improve physically, mentally, spiritually, and at the end of the day, be a promise keeper to myself. Appreciate you guys watching. You guys already know the motto: stay happy, stay healthy, and above all, don't be average. I'll catch you guys in the next video.